The WNBA is set to lose $40 million this season.
The WNBA is set to lose $40 million this season, marking yet another financial setback for the league. Not long ago, the league experienced
next season is canceled. It will be the end of the WNBA in the mainstream. People will not give this league another chance.
a surge in popularity, thanks in large part to Caitlin Clark's undeniable star power. Attendance soared, arenas were packed, and merchandise was flying off the shelves. But now, the momentum has slowed, and the financial reality is grim. If the upcoming season were to be cancelled, it could mark
NBA investors are actually starting to get irritated. It's about
the end of the WNBA as a mainstream league. At first, it seemed like the WNBA had struck gold, but the losses have continued to pile up. This $40 million deficit isn't just a minor bump in
the owners. If the NBA wanted to close this, nobody would blame them. Nobody would blame them if they wanted to shut this league down. I mean, what other league operates for 27 years in a loss? What other business does? It doesn't. It gets closed down. It gets shut.
the road. It's a major concern for investors, particularly the NBA owners who have been funding the league for nearly 3 decades. Their patience is running thin.
And of all owners to actually be sort of a hero on this, it is James Dolan. One of them, of course, from the Knicks, that is asking a lot of questions right now, and evidently a lot of other owners are sort of happy that he's taking this
in, and the discussion about shutting down the WNBA is becoming more serious than ever before. For 27 years, the NBA has subsidized the WNBA, covering losses and keeping the league afloat. But now, a growing number of NBA owners are demanding answers. Among them is James Dolan, owner of the New York Knicks, who has taken the lead in pressing NBA Commissioner Adam Silver for more transparency. Dolan's involvement has been met with quiet approval from other owners, many of whom have long questioned the financial sustainability of the WNBA.
The NBA owns nearly 60% of the league. Now listen to this. When one combines the NBA owners' personal stakes in WNBA teams and the WNBA itself, the amount rises to 75% of the league ownership is tied to the WNBA, to the NBA.
The financial situation is dire. The NBA owns nearly 60% of the WNBA, but when factoring in individual NBA team owners' stakes in the league, the total jumps to 75%. This means that when the WNBA loses money, it directly impacts the NBA as well. Millions of dollars are flowing out of the NBA's coffers annually, and owners are beginning to question whether it's worth continuing to invest in a league that has yet to turn a profit. However, the WNBA has a potential lifeline, a new media rights deal. Starting in the 2020,
the NBA team owners have invested hundreds of millions into the WNBA since 1996, per sources. Quote, the WNBA owes the NBA so much we won't see any windfall for years, a team executive told the Post. So it's going to be years, even with this broadcast, this new media rights deal, before anybody sees any.
26 season, the league is expected to secure up to $2.2 billion over 11 years from media contracts. This would be a significant jump from the current $6 million annual revenue from national media rights. The expansion of the regular season and playoffs could also help generate more revenue, potentially transforming the league's financial landscape, yet, challenges remain. The WNBA
before anybody sees any money. Starting in the 2026 season, the WNBA will get up to a $2.2 billion over 11 years media right contract.
Players have the option to opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement, CBA, by November 1st. If they do, it could lead to higher salaries, which would eat into the anticipated revenue growth. The league is projected to turn a $40 million loss into a $60 million gain by 2026, but rising salaries could jeopardize that profit margin. Much of the WNBA's recent surge in viewership and interest can be attributed to Caitlin Clark, whose performance has captured the attention of sports fans across the country. Her influence has led to increased ratings and ticket sales, giving the league a rare moment of financial optimism. However, if the league fails to capitalize on this momentum and address internal tensions,
that means likely at least $100 million annual increase from what the WNBA currently makes from national media contracts, which is about $60 million. The WNBA is also set to expand its regular season and playoff schedule to generate more.
It could squander its best chance at long-term success. The situation is delicate. On one hand, the WNBA is finally positioned to make money. On the other, investor frustration, financial losses, and internal conflicts threaten to undermine progress.
But the players are expected to opt out of the CBA by November 1 deadline, and if they do, that means the salaries are likely to rise, which would eat into the potential $60 million for the 2026 profit by the league. The $100 million in television revenue, turning the projected $40 million loss into a $60 million gain. Quote, we have not even getting any money from the WNBA.
If the league can successfully leverage its newfound popularity while managing player demands and maintaining investor confidence, it might have a chance at a sustainable future. If not, the conversation about shutting down the WNBA could grow even louder in the coming years. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and the stakes have never been higher. For years, the league struggled to gain mainstream traction, but now, thanks to Caitlin Clark, women's basketball has finally captured national attention. Yet, instead of embracing this golden opportunity, some within the WNBA seem intent on driving away the very fans that could secure its future. Caitlin Clark is not just another player, she's a phenomenon. Her talent, charisma, and leadership have brought in an entirely new wave of fans.
For this league, again, what do you do? I mean, this league is going to make some money now, all right? But again, what happens if you push all these new fans back out? What does that do for your media rights deals? Because they only got the new media rights deals because of one player. I mean, singular, let's be honest.
Many of whom had never seriously followed women's basketball before. The numbers speak for themselves: record-breaking TV ratings, skyrocketing ticket sales, and unprecedented demand for merchandise. Arenas that once had empty seats are now packed, and WNBA games are generating excitement in ways.
She boosted all the ratings, she got the popularity, and now all your players across the league are attacking her fans, the Iowa fans, the Indiana Fever fans. Look at those Connecticut Sun players talking about Indiana Fever fans are racist. Angel Reese talking about Indiana Fever fans are racist. Caitlin Clark fans are racist. People are going to get tired of that, and they're going to be like, the hell with it. Let's let this league burn itself to the ground where it should have been.
Ways they never have before. However, rather than welcoming these new fans, some players and executives within the league appear to be pushing them away. Whether through dismissive comments or outright hostility, there's a growing sentiment that the influx of fresh eyes is somehow a threat rather than an asset. The unfortunate reality is that this attitude could cost the league dearly. Think about it. This is the first time in history that WNBA tickets have been selling for hundreds, and in some cases, even thousands, of dollars. When Clark plays, arenas fill up, and TV audiences
every single year, and it looks like the league might eventually become profitable. That is, if the WNBA players, the hatefulness, the jealousy, the pettiness doesn't run off fans, okay? Because we know the way they treated Caitlin Clark, and we know the way a lot of these players have talked so badly about the new fans that have come in. Well, the new fans are what's going to make you money. So if you continue to talk badly about them, they're going to get fed up, and they're going to not watch this league. They're going to leave the league, and you're back to where you were, and it sounds like owners, you better not go back to where you were.
is tuned in by the millions. Her impact isn't hypothetical, it's tangible and measurable. Yet, instead of rallying behind her, some insiders are treating her success with resentment rather than celebration. Worse still, Clark has been subjected to an alarming level of physical play on the court, bordering on dangerous. Some argue that.
And you've got the factor of Caitlin Clark's getting the ever-loving hell beat out of her out there. So what happens if she gets hurt, severely hurt, knocked out of the league? Again, we were one eye poke away from a career being potentially a wrap right after.
That it's just part of the game, but let's be honest, the intensity directed at her feels personal. If the league allows this to continue unchecked, it risks not only damaging its biggest draw but also alienating the very families and young fans who see Clark as an inspiration. Look at the numbers. The Indiana Fever, Clark's team, is averaging close to 16,000 fans per game, blowing every other WNBA team out of the water.
Caitlin Clark fans are getting pissed over it. They're getting tired of it. You know? And again, all these new fans, a lot of them, like us, in this house that are actual families, a nuclear family, a traditional family unit, we don't want to see her get the crap beat out of her on the court. That's not a good look for our kids to be.
The WNBA is set to lose $40 million this season, marking yet another financial setback for the league. Not long ago, the league experienced a surge in popularity, thanks in large part to Caitlin Clark's undeniable.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall
star power. Attendance soared, arenas were packed, and merchandise was flying off the shelves. But now, the momentum has slowed, and the financial reality is grim. If the upcoming season were to be cancelled, it could.
If we look at this chart for the 2024 season, the Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 games. So this is taking into consideration not only the Indiana Fever home games, but also when they are on the road. Their lowest attendance was around 6,000 people. And if you look at the rest of the league, everybody else is around 3,000 for their lowest. Their highest attendance is 2,000.
Mark the end of the WNBA as a mainstream league. At first, it seemed like the WNBA had struck gold, but the losses have continued to pile up.
These numbers are crazy. Do you know what kind of money these numbers are going to turn into? Like, this is how you grow the league. This attendance.
This $40 million deficit isn't just a minor bump in the road, it's a major concern for investors, particularly the NBA owners who have been funding the league for nearly 3 decades. Their patience is running thin, and the discussion about shutting down the WNBA is becoming more serious than ever before. For 27 years, the NBA has subsidized the WNBA, covering losses and keeping the league afloat. But now, a growing number of NBA owners are demanding.
WNBA. Cheap seats going for $100, that is a sign of progress. The most expensive seats to see Caitlin Clark were selling for over $4,000. When she played Angel Reese in the regular season, average ticket was selling for $300.
Answers. Among them is James Dolan, owner of the New York Knicks, who has taken the lead in pressing NBA Commissioner Adam Silver for more transparency. Dolan's involvement has been met with quiet approval from other owners, many of whom have long questioned the financial sustainability of the WNBA. The financial situation is dire. The NBA owns nearly 60% of.
It's what she does. Now, as a player, let's understand this about Caitlin Clark. Number 1 overall pick, on pace to become the first rookie ever to average at least 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. But she also leads the league with 5.4 turnovers per game, 1.3 more than any other.
The WNBA. But when factoring in individual NBA team owners' stakes in the league, the total jumps to 75%. This means that when the WNBA loses money, it directly impacts the NBA as well. Millions of dollars are flowing out of the NBA's coffers annually, and owners are beginning to question whether it's worth continuing to invest in a league that has yet to turn a profit. However, the WNBA has a potential lifeline, a new media rights deal. Starting in the 2020.
The Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year, and the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics at just over 400,000. So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their game.
The very families and young fans who see Clark as an inspiration. Look at the numbers. The Indiana Fever, Clark's team, is averaging close to 16,000 fans per game, blowing every other WNBA team out of the water. The lowest attendance for a Fever game is still nearly double the lowest attendance figures for other teams. That's not a coincidence. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. This isn't just about one player. It's about the WNBA finally having the chance to break through into mainstream sports culture. It's about sustaining that momentum and building a league that thrives. Yet, if key figures within the league continue to reject or diminish the contributions of new fans and Clark herself, they risk throwing away the best chance they've ever had. So, the WNBA has a choice to make: embrace this wave of excitement and welcome the growth, or allow internal divisions and short-sightedness to send the league back into obscurity. The opportunity is right in front of them. The question is, will they seize it?